Hello, and this is Natalie Goman with Perfectly Spoken Level A2. This is lesson 11, and today we are looking at vocabulary and language related to family and family relationships. Okay, fantastic class. So, have you got your pen and paper or pen and notebook? And we will begin. Okay, let's have a look at what we are going to do in today's lesson. So we today will look at family vocabulary, family relationships, possessive adjectives, and some expressions that we use when we're talking about the family. Okay, so are you ready? Let's begin. Okay. So first of all, looking at typical questions we ask when we're talking about family. So one very common question is this: have you got brothers and sisters? Have you got brothers and sisters? Okay, notice in English we don't have one word that means brothers and sisters. So you have to say brothers and sisters, okay? You have to say the whole thing. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. Have you got brothers and sisters? Have you? Okay. Obviously, you can also say, do you have brothers and sisters? Remember, have you got, do you have? British English, we use have you got a lot. And in American English, they use do you have a lot, but both are correct. You choose the one you prefer, okay? So have you got brothers and sisters, or do you have brothers and sisters? So choose the one you like, okay? And yes, of course, you have to say brothers and sisters. Yes, I have. Yes, I do. You use yes, I have. If you say, have you got brothers and sisters? Yes, I have. Or no, I haven't. Do you have brothers and sisters? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. Okay. Now, maybe the answer to the question is, have you got brothers and sisters? And you say, no, I haven't. I'm an only child. An only child is a person that doesn't have any brothers and doesn't have any sisters. They're an only child, okay? So, how many, if the answer is yes, obviously, how many brothers and sisters have you got? How many brothers and sisters have you got? This is some example answers here, okay? Got some example answers. So I've got 6 brothers and sisters. Okay, so maybe you have 3 brothers, 3 sisters. We don't know. You've got 6 brothers and sisters, or I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters. 2 brothers, 2 sisters. So 4 brothers and sisters in total. I've got a sister, 1. I've got a brother, just 1. That's my case. I have a brother. I don't have a sister. I've got 2 sisters and 1 brother. So in total, 3 brothers and sisters. Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to look at a family tree to illustrate different relationships and different vocabulary related to talking about family. Okay, so I'm going to make the family tree bigger so we can see it better. Okay, so ready? Okay, now can you see Maria in this picture? Okay, we're going to do the family tree from Maria's perspective. Maria is the youngest, well, maybe not the youngest, but a young person in the family. Okay, so looking at Maria, you've got Maria's brother, yes, her brother, Maria's cousins, In English, you've got male cousin, female cousin. It's the same. We don't distinguish between male and female. We've got Maria's parents. Maria's parents are her mother and her father, okay? Maria's uncle, Maria's aunt, Maria's aunt and uncle. Okay, so aunt is female, uncle is male. Maria's grandparents, and grandparents can be grandmother and grandfather. Okay, or sometimes we say granddad. My grandmother, for example, I called her Nana. So there are lots of different names. Grandma is another one for grandmother. Okay, so you've got grandmother and grandfather together, they're grandparents. Okay, Maria's great aunt. So this isn't her aunt, it's a generation older. Maria's great aunt and uncle, and Maria's great grandparents. Okay, notice here we're talking about Maria's family. So we are using the apostrophe S for possession, okay, because they belong to her. Remember, at A2 level, you know that in English we use the possessive S to talk about possession. Okay, all right, now let's go back to the family tree again. Remember, you can pause the video to write down any information, but now I will give you a summary of the vocabulary. Right, so here's a summary of vocabulary. So we did brother, sister, cousins, aunt, uncle, parents, mother or mum, father or dad, grandparents, grandmother or grandfather, great-grandmother, great-grandfather. Okay, so we've looked at the family from the perspective of Maria. Now we are going to look at the family tree again, but from a different perspective, okay? So now can you see Fred? Can you see Fred here? Okay, so now we're going to look at the family relationships from the perspective of Fred, okay? So we've got Fred and Fred's wife. They're married, okay? Oh, yes, before we go on, the question was, how many brothers and sisters has he got? So 2 questions. How many brothers and sisters has he got? That's Fred. And how many children has he got? Let's have a look. So how many brothers and sisters first? So yes, he's got 2 brothers and sisters. 1 sister and 1 brother. So 2 brothers and sisters. 1 sister, 1 brother. Okay. And how many children has he got? How many children has he got? How many children? Yes, he's got 3 children. 3 children. Can you see he's got 3 children? Okay. So how many children has he got? Notice here, children is the plural of child. Okay, so you have 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, 4 children. So you have to notice the pronunciation changes. So you've got child, it's kind of a diphthong, child. And then in plural, it's not children, children. So you've got one child, two children. And Fred, in this case, has got 3 children. Okay, so let's go back. All right, so you can see Fred is married. He's got a wife, a brother and sister, and 3 children. Okay, now we've got, you can see here, his 3 children. You've got Fred's daughter. He's got 2 daughters, that's female, and 1 son, that's male. So 3 children, 2 daughters, and 1 son. Okay, and what are these people? Do you know the name? So, for example, Fred's daughter is married to, and Fred's son is married to, so yes, they're called Fred's son-in-law and daughter-in-law. So we use this expression in-law. We use the expression in-law when we're talking about a family member that is a family member because of marriage, not because of your blood connection. No, it's because of marriage. That's why it's in-law. In-law. Okay. All right. Let's go back. So we've got what relationship are these to Fred? What relationship are these? Yes, they're Fred's grandchildren. Okay, Fred's grandchildren. So if it's a female, it's a granddaughter, and if it's a male, it's a grandson. Granddaughter or grandson. Okay. So here we've got a summary of the vocabulary. We've got son, daughter, notice the pronunciation, daughter, children, grandchildren, granddaughter, 2 Ds, grandson, great-grandchildren, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, father-in-law, mother-in-law, okay, and wife and husband. In fact, we usually say husband and wife. Okay. So notice the pronunciation, very important. In law, door is the similar sound. Law as door, you open, law, door, okay. And daughter, daughter, okay. All right. Now, what I'm going to do now is put some questions on, and I want you to answer the questions. You can answer them in your head. You can pause the video and say the answers, or you can pause the video and write the answers, okay, in your notebook, right? But write the answers for you, okay? And they must be true, okay? So here are the questions. How many brothers and sisters have you got? How many brothers and sisters have you got? How many aunts and uncles have you got? How many aunts and uncles have you got? Have you got grandparents? Have you got grandparents? How many cousins have you got? How many cousins have you got? Are you from a small family or a big family? Okay, so now you've answered the questions. I am going to give you some example answers which are true for me. Okay, so the first one, I've got 1 brother. I don't have any sisters. The second question, aunts and uncles. I have 2 aunts. 2 aunts. One is my father's sister, and the other one is my mother's sister. I don't have any uncles now. No, unfortunately, they died. Yes. My one aunt lives in England and one aunt lives in Australia. Yeah, very far away. Okay, have you got grandparents? I don't have grandparents, no. Now, no. Before, yes, but now, no. I don't have grandparents. How many cousins have you got? Well, my family are very small, so I've got 3 cousins. Only 3 cousins. We're a very small family. So the next question, I'm from a small family. Small family. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to do an activity to test you, all right? But first we'll look at just some quick other language to talk about relationships between people in families, okay? So just have a look at this question. What's the relationship between Maria and Fred? What's the relationship between Maria and Fred? Okay, are you ready for the answer? What's the relationship between Maria and Fred? They are grandfather and granddaughter. Grandfather and granddaughter, or granddaughter and grandfather. Because Fred is the grandfather and Maria is the granddaughter, but that's their relationship. Okay? So now we'll look at, here I've put the names in the family tree. So just take a moment to look at the names. They are English names. It's a British family. Okay. So what's the relationship between Linda and Fred? Yes, they are brother and sister. Brother and sister. Very good. Okay, what's the relationship between George and Julia? They are father and daughter. Father and daughter. Okay, what's the relationship between Betty and Frank? They are husband and wife. Husband and wife. What's the relationship between Maria and Helen? They are cousins. Cousins. Notice cousins, not cousins, no. Cousins. What's the relationship between Claire and David? They are mother and son. Mother and son. Okay, now we're going to look very quickly at possessive adjectives, just to help you remember the possessive adjectives. So here we've got possessive adjectives. Here we have an adjective no, we've got the name of the person. So Stephanie is Fred's daughter. Fred is a man. We put it with a possessive adjective, sorry. We put it with a possessive adjective. It's Stephanie is his daughter. His being Fred's daughter. Fred is Gloria's husband. Gloria is a woman. So it'd be Fred is her husband. So his and her are examples of possessive adjectives. Okay, so do you remember all the possessive adjectives? Don't worry, because here I have a table with the list of the possessive adjectives. Okay, so here you go. So here you've got the pronouns on the left, and then the equivalent possessive adjectives on the right. And the first two columns are in singular, and the second two columns are in plural. Okay, so you've got I, my, like my sister, you, your sister, he, his sister, she, her sister, it, its. Well, in this case, we don't use its because we're talking about people, but obviously its is for a thing, okay? And then we've got pronouns we, they, you, our, their, your. Okay, so it's important to practice and remember if you're writing or talking about your family, we use these possessive adjectives a lot. Okay, now here are some examples with the possessive adjectives. Can you see them? Okay, here I am going to identify the possessive adjectives. Okay, got my, their, her, and their. And also notice in the sentence number 3, we have the verb, we have the verb in the past. Okay, so you've got my mother's mother was called Gladys. Her husband was called Fred. So here we're using was called. We're using a past verb, okay? Because now they are not alive, okay? Right, now we're just going to look at two other expressions we use when we're talking about family, okay? So just have a look at this photograph. You see this is a photograph of a family. You've got a mother, father, and 2 daughters. Now look at the 2 daughters. What do you notice about the 2 girls? What do you notice about them? Have a look. Okay. The daughters look alike. Maybe they are twins. Look alike means their faces are very, very similar. Okay, maybe they are twins. Twins are children that have the same birthday. Okay, so they're born on the same day. Okay, they look alike, they look very similar. Maybe they are twins. Are you a twin? Or do you and your mother look alike? Or you and your father look alike? Okay. All right, and have a look at this family here. In this family, you can see grandparents and their children and the grandchildren. Okay, so here you have 3 generations. So this is a photo, 3 generations. Each kind of line of the family tree is called a generation. Okay, so you've got 3 generations. In my family, we have 3 generations. In some family, you have 4 generations, even 5 generations. How many generations do you have in your family? Okay, and now I'm going to show you another family tree. And this time I'm going to give you some sentences just to practice the vocabulary, and you have to say if the sentence is true or false? Okay, so it's a different family tree. So you need to pay attention. You can pause the video if necessary, that's fine. Okay, ready? Here we go. So here are the names of the people. Greta, Ralph, Nora, John, Anna, James, Philip, Nicola, Harry, Paul, and Patricia. So number 1, Anna is married to James. True or false? Yes, it's true. It's true. John is married to Nora. It's true. Yes, it's true. Number 3, Nora and John have 3 children. Yes, it's true. It's true. And number 4, it's false. Number 4 is false. Harry hasn't got 2 brothers. Harry has got a brother and a sister, not 2 brothers, because that would be 2 males, 2 boys, but he's got a brother and a sister. Okay, Nicola and Philip. Okay, right, you ready for some more? Paul and Patricia are cousins. It's false. They are brother and sister. Brother and sister. Okay, next one. Okay, and this one. Greta and Ralph have 6 grandchildren. It's false. No, they have 5 grandchildren. Okay. Nora is Anna's sister-in-law. Is that true or false? Yes, it's true. It's true. And this one, number 3, is false, of course, because he has a sister, Patricia. This is true. Greta and Ralph are Nicola's grandparents. That's true. And number 5 is true. John is Anna's brother. Oh, I'll disappear for a second. Number 6, James isn't married. That, in fact, is false because James is married to Anna. Okay, all right. Just one more time. This is true. Nora is Ralph's daughter-in-law. It's true because Nora is married to John. Number 2 is false. Why? Because Patricia is Anna's daughter, not Anna's son. She's female. This is true. Nicola has got an older brother. She's got 2 brothers. One is definitely older. Okay, so for example, maybe Nicola's 7 and her brother is 12. So it's an older brother. And Paul has got a younger sister. Yes, it's true. I think it's true because Patricia looks younger. Maybe Paul is 12, 13, and Patricia is 5 or 6, so it's younger sister. Oh, right. Yes. Yes, so I just wanted to talk about this language here. We've got older brother, or younger sister, okay? So we use this a lot when we're talking about our brothers and sisters. Are they older, younger, Are you in the middle? If there's 3, there's 1 in the middle. Okay. All right. So we did a lot in this class, a lot of vocabulary, a lot of expressions. It's very important to keep practicing. Go back to the family tree and you can write sentences about the people and the different relationships between the people in the family tree. You can write your family tree and then write a paragraph about your family, because you need to practice and practice and practice the vocabulary so that it goes into your memory. So we did a lot in this class. We did family vocabulary, family relationships like marriage to brother and sister, husband and wife. We did possessive adjectives, for example, his, her, your, their, our. And we did some expressions used when talking about family. For example, they look alike, they're twins, younger and older. Okay, so a lot of information. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.